Hey, welcome in. Well, here we have something, just in time for the election, too, that is really hard to believe. But apparently, a CNN mental health expert says that Hitler was better than Trump. At least Hitler improved the life of his followers. Apparently, this is real. This person actually said this. Of course, it betrays, as far as I can tell here, a complete and total ignorance of 20th century history, modern history. I mean, when you're willing to say something like that, it proves that you know literally nothing. And it goes to show that CNN will have literally anybody on their channel as long as they will say, Orange Man bad, reliably. Now, I mean, it's just kind of unbelievable. Anyway, the article starts. On Monday morning, the day before Election Day, the woman who is the president of the World Mental Health Coalition, so this is somebody who is the president of the World Mental Health Coalition, and a frequent guest on CNN and MSNBC, where she comments on mental health, compared President Trump to Nazi Führer Adolf Hitler, ranting that Hitler was better for various reasons, including that he improved the daily life of his followers. Again, this is somebody who doesn't know anything, apparently. Have you ever seen pictures of, like, Berlin in 1945? How about Dresden, Hamburg? Yeah, I would say he made the daily life of his followers into a living hell. So let's see. Dr. Bandy X. Lee, a professor at the Yale School of Medicine and the co-author of The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump, tweeted, quote, Donald Trump is not an Adolf Hitler. At least Hitler improved the daily life of his followers, had discipline, and required more of himself to gain the respect of his followers. Even with the same pathology, there are varying degrees of competence. So, I'm just going to make one point here. As far as I'm aware, Donald Trump has not invaded Poland, right? He's not trying to conquer the world. In fact, he seems a hell of a lot less interested in sending troops all over the world than his predecessors. So I mean, this is obviously an insane comparison. This is somebody who's deranged or just being intentionally dishonest. I mean, the crimes of Adolf Hitler are so horrifying and infamous and terrible that it is really indecent to compare like a Donald Trump. I mean, either this doctor is deranged or is just totally cynical and assumes that the people that will be listening to her are complete idiots and completely ignorant. I mean, those are the only explanations. And keep in mind, this is somebody that CNN has on, right? This is somebody that CNN goes to. I mean, you guys out there, have you had just about enough of expert opinion from like CNN and MSNBC and New York Times or Washington Post? Have you had just about enough of this expert opinion yet? Because here's an expert who seems to be completely full of BS. And I assume, I mean, if you're a doctor, you can't be this stupid. So I assume that this is not done in good faith. Just going to interrupt for 1 second to say, if you like this content, subscribe so you can see more. Thanks a lot. But anyway, what are some other people saying about this? Here's somebody, Czar Beckett Adams, says CNN and MSNBC's favorite resistance mental health expert has some thoughts on Adolf Hitler. Donald Trump is not an Adolf Hitler. At least Hitler improved the daily life of his I mean, we read this. This is insane. I mean, you're defending Hitler because you want to pretend that Trump is worse than Hitler. This is insanity. I mean, it's funny, but it shouldn't really be because it's so indecent and so disrespectful to all of the many, many millions and millions and millions of people who suffered and died in World War II. Yeah, this is just demented. Okay, and apparently she took down the tweet after. So she said, okay, I have taken it down since it has upset so many people and was not provoking thought but the opposite. Really? Thought? What thought? I mean, the thought that you're a lunatic, that you are mentally unwell, it did provoke that thought, but I guess that's not the kind of thought she was hoping for. Of note, my statement was about how little Donald Trump believes he needs to do to retain his followership, not to minimize Adolf Hitler's atrocities. But you did. But you did do that. Anyway, totally crazy. Totally crazy. Let's see. It says Lee co-authored an essay in June in which the authors wrote, it says here, the last few weeks have seen a marked and unmistakable deterioration in Joe Biden's mental function. Oh, wait a second. It doesn't say Joe Biden. I just assumed it said Joe Biden. My mind just filled that in. Apparently she thinks it's Donald Trump's mental functioning. Huh. I wonder how many people agree with that, even Biden voters. I mean, we don't even need to read this. It's just pure propaganda, obviously. This is just pure orange man bad. Let's see. Anyway, some other people had stuff to say about this. Here's Tom Elliott says, you may remember the psychiatrist calling Trump worse than Hitler as the same expert seen in the media earlier this year diagnosing POTUS as a sociopath. So she's been at it for a while, but of course that's why she was on CNN, right? Because she was reliably would say insane things. Let's see. Here's Suraj Hashmi. And he says, this is literally a, quote, at least the trains ran on time take. Yeah, I mean, if you didn't know any better, I mean, you'd think that she kind of admired him a little bit. Here's Yashar Ali. Just incredible stuff here. My God. That's it. My God. Oh, goodness. But this is what you get when it's just open season politically on one side, and you can just say anything and get away with it, and there'll be no repercussions because at least you're being insane in the right direction, according to like a CNN. And it's one of those things where you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. This is another one of those cases where they're trying to fool all the people all the time. It doesn't work. I mean, we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see what happens if anything is decided tomorrow, but this is the kind of stuff that doesn't help the CNN cause or the, anybody but Trump cause, in my opinion. But anyway, I guess we'll have to see what happens. That's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me to get around the algorithm, which is strangling my channel. Also, if you just like to listen, there's Radio Baloney, the podcast that's available on pretty much every platform, including Apple Podcasts. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next time.